imaging of celestial objects. Yeah, that is the idea behind it. It is imaging the celestial objects, which is a very interesting phenomenon. Now, which normally it will not happen very often, but we have to spend time to only on rare occasions it happen. And here, you are all fortunate. When I was told that I have to do some felicitation or welcome today, immediately what struck my mind was three names, because only these three names I remember as a student of physics when I did my +2: Copernicus, Galileo, and Kepler. So these are the early people who were into this particular astronomy or astrophysics. And then later, when I asked Mr. Prince, he told me that no, sir, the contributions of Islamic scholars are great. Then I started to recollect, and I was able to think a few things, which I don't know. As a layman, I'm telling you, why the Islamic land started to look up the sky, because nothing was interesting there around the land. So we naturally, if attractive things are on the land, you will be tempted to look only at those things. So this man, he was in the desert, and there was nothing there for him. So he started to look up the skies for the beauties, and he started to read the stars and the planets and so on. And a very interesting fact is that by the 8th century itself, people were so much interested that in 8th century, the first observatory was installed in Baghdad. So, which means the contributions of the Islamic scholars or the Islamic land becomes very, very important. And today, we have our resource person, Mr. Ajith, is also from Doha. So that's why I thought of linking this. And he is going to know you are all fortunate. Those people, they were using very crude telescopes, or they were using their naked eyes to observe all these things. But today, technology has grown to that extent that we have got some wonderful telescopes which will take you very close to the objects, and you will have a very good view of all the celestial objects. And seeing a telescope is not an easy thing. We have got our resource person. He is ready to show his observatory which he has established in Doha. Hats off to you, sir, for agreeing, for first of all, for you have come forward to share your resources. That is something very, very interesting. We are very fortunate, not only myself, but also the entire faculty, students, and the participants who are all joined here. They will be really they will be blessed to see your observatory, and also they would have gained by your yesterday's lecture, they would have gained some knowledge, and today some more knowledge they will be gaining. Thank you very much, and I welcome you all for this wonderful workshop. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So we will straight away go to the session today. So on behalf of this magnanimous New College Management and the Department of Physics, and Mr. Ajith, please start your session. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon again. Actually, I'm so happy again to meet you all, and thank you, Sheikh sir, for giving a good name on me. I'm so blessed actually to be with this big crowd. The second session, earlier we have discussed, like it was planned to be in the evening when there is night, so we will be doing a real-time photographing. But unfortunately, the time zones, it was not matching for us. So when during the astronomical night of here, Doha, it will be already 10 o'clock in the night over in India. So we plan to record a session of imaging, the whole process of imaging, like almost like half an hour. We have recorded a session, and I'm planning to play that today. And I'm going to show the result, how it have come up. so that, like I have explained all the modules which has been covered. Then I'm interested to show some of the images which I have photographed, and we will discuss on the entire, the process and all the doubts which we can make it like a interaction session, this one. So because this will be more into the practically oriented session. What do you think, Prince? We'll just play the video now.
Yeah. We can just play the video and we will start then.
Okay, fine. If there is any doubts, just please interrupt me, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Welcome to the observation. Is it sharing? Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, sir, you couldn't see it.
No, wait. Let me just have a look. I hope you can see the video now, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Welcome to my observatory.
Yeah.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. In this session, we are going to practically see and experience how we are going to shoot a light frame of H alpha of the Fish Nebula. Today's target is Fish Nebula. So we will see how I am going to photograph the Fish Nebula from my observatory. So this is the setup which we are going in my observatory. This is my main imaging scope. This is an Explore Scientific 7 ED102 F3 100 scope, and this is my main imaging scope which I am using, and it has a ZWO electronic autofocuser, and it's having a ZWO 8-wheel filter wheel and a ZWO 1600 monochrome camera. It's over here, and the telescope above is the guide scope which I am using for guiding, and the camera which is connected behind the guide scope or my guide camera is a ZWO 120 MCS. So that I'm actually using for planetary also. It's a planetary camera, and it can be, it's a combo of it is used for guiding also. The whole setup is sitting on a equatorial mount. My mount is a Skywatcher EQ6R Pro, and the payload capacity is 20 kilograms. And it's been like almost 1 year. It's a beautiful mount for me, and it's doing the tracking very nicely. So the telescope is, and the telescope and the mount are connected to the computers through a set of cables. And here in the screen, you see the two different softwares which I use for doing the photographing and the guiding. My main sequencing application is Sequence Generator Pro. So this is literally like very handy for all the sequencing operations of for imaging. And in the left screen, you are seeing the PhD2 software, and this is very comfortable software for guiding, and it is a freeware. You can, it's an open source software. You can find it in the internet. You can download it free. But the sequence generator, you will get a light version, which is free. But this is a pro version, which I use, and this is like it's a paid software, and it is almost like around $300, and it is almost like $300 for your membership for the license. So now we are actually starting the session. So first things first, because my mount is sitting on a permanent pier inside the observatory, it is already polar aligned, and so we don't have to do a rear alignment for the permanent setup. So we will start with the framing. And today, as I said earlier, today's target we will be shooting the Fish Nebula. So to find the Fish Nebula, first we have to do the framing of the Fish Nebula. How you have to need the frame to be in your final product. So let us do it. So Sequence Generator Pro allows you to frame your target. So, see the now we have connected all the equipment in our Sequence Generator SGP software. So when I have set up the equipment like this, when my camera is getting connected, it will automatically decrease the temperature of the sensor to 0 degree. That is my personal setting for my current weather conditions. So here actually it shows the temperature of the sensor. It is at minus 0.5 degree, and the power consumption is like around 49%. And now we have opened the framing wizard. Here we will be using the object name. So our Fish Nebula is like NGC 1805. So we are going to shoot the target. So we have already selected NGC 1805. And so this is how we have our entire object. So in that, we are going to shoot only the Fish Nebula. So this is our, this will be our frame. So we will be rotating the camera a little bit so that we can have the frame as per our wish. So could be like, I prefer to have the fish in this position so that in the final product, I will flip it horizontally so that, no, flip it vertically so that it will be in my desired manner. Okay. So now we have chosen the frame. We are setting up now. So this is the sequencing dialog box. So here we require the light frames. And now first, for the test purpose, we will go for the hydrogen alpha filter. So here we will be going for today as a test dose, like we will be shooting in HOO. So I will be shooting hydrogen alpha and oxygen 3 frames. Hydrogen alpha will be 5 minute. Both frames will be like 5 minutes of exposure, and hopefully, if everything goes fine, we will be shooting like at least 1 hour each for testing. And the filters which I use are chroma filters, and they are 3 nanometer filters, and those are all set in the filter wheel. So here now we have selected the filter name. It is the HA, and 2 hours effects, like we will go for hydrogen alpha R light, and our exposure is 5 minutes, and we chose to have 1 hour, so it's like 12 frames. 12 frames into 5 minutes is 1 hour. So this is what we are going to do now. So now we start the sequencing by run. Now our telescope is moving to the target. We have already opened the shutter to the target position. So the telescope will be settling down on the target. So now our telescope has slewed to the target. So the next technique what we use is the plate solving. Plate solving is used to identify whether our telescope is pointing to the right position. So here the plate solving technique is like our imaging camera will be shooting a short exposure, and those with the stars from the exposure, this plate will be analyzed with an existing available database in the system. And according to our frame, which we have already framed in the framing and mosaicing wizard, it will analyze whether the plate is matching to the database. And if it is not, the software will ask you to slew the telescope to what is the difference, and it will actually move to the target. And for framing, whether we will have to be rotating the camera to any particular degree or not. So we will experience it in the screen. So this is the plate solving techniques actually. So here, centering scope and rotating of the camera. So for this, we are using a software called PlateSolve 2.29 in connection with the SG Pro. So it says the plate match is found, but it has some misalignments. So you see, like it's like 4,000 pixels, 700 pixels away, and it is 62 degree. We have to rotate the camera. So it's again testing, and we are almost 77 pixels away, and 12 degree again we have to rotate the camera. So again we will rotate another 12 degree, and the mount will slow again like 77 pixels somewhere closer. I have kept like my framing will be like around within 50 pixel. It'll be okay for my imaging. So we now again we have a small error of another 12 degree rotation. So we will again do the rotation. So again it is doing a plate solving, and it's finding whether it is on the target. Yeah. So now our plate is solved and we are on the target. So now once the plate solved, actually it is solved and we are on the target. So now once the plate solved, actually our sequencing will be like the SGP will be saying it will be connecting to the PhD2, and the PhD2, the camera, the guide camera will be enabling, and it will find few stars. So this is how the stars are found here, and it chooses the best star auto selected, and the mount started guiding. So this is our guiding graph in here, So actually, our total RMS is like 0.2, and array OAC is 50, around 50, which is a very nice count. And the guiding is very smooth now. It is. It looks like it's probably a very nice clear sky tonight, and conditions are good. But only problem is we have the intensity of moon is a little high today. Otherwise, the guiding is like very cool and it's very nice. The mount is performing great. So here you can see already in the sequence generator I've started integrating the image. So it's already like for each frame it is 5 minutes. That's 300 seconds. So the camera has started shooting and it is already gone 2 minutes. So now it is like, it is counting on, and another another 3 minutes, we will see our first image popping up. Now it's like almost 1 minute left, 45 seconds. So even like you, I'm so much excited to see the first frame coming out of the screen. So we have to wait for another 30 seconds. Let's see how it comes. Meanwhile, we will be doing the focusing and all these things. Like focusing will be like, it will be automatically done with the electronic autofocuser. So, the timer is counting. It's wow. So this is the first image of the fish nebula. The heads and alpha details are amazingly beautiful. And even though it's a full moon, almost full moon night, it has come out very beautiful. Actually, the head of the fish has plenty of heads and alpha details, and it looks amazing. The stars are round. Yeah, the stars are round and sharp. So this is a beautiful image. Let's check the corners. Yeah, expectedly there are little trails, but still, almost all the corners are very nice. And the details in the head of the fish is very beautiful. So this is an example of a hydrogen alpha frame. Let me interrupt now. Yeah. I think we are in the halfway. The video was clear, right?
Yeah, it was very clear, sir.
Okay. So here, this was taken like last night, the previous night, not yesterday, last night. Previous night I have shot this. It was quite nice. As we have discussed yesterday, regarding the we have. I think I have informed about the steps involved in photographing. The first step is plate solving. The polar alignment. Okay. The polar alignment we have not done here in this, because as I mentioned, it is the setup is already permanent, and this has been permanently done. Actually, the polar alignment is already done, and it's running like maybe like hopefully after 3 months or 4 months, I'll do the polar alignment again. So this image which I have shown is the hydrogen alpha data. And so similar way, we will be shooting like, oxygen data and sulfur data. I have a set of images, like last 2 nights, like yesterday night and the previous day night, I was photographing this image to show up how it comes out. And luckily the weather was favoring, and we got like almost 11 hours of data from the fish nebula, and I have done a bit of processing on that. The schedule was a little tight. Like I was running from the office for this presentation, so I did a bit of small touching on the data, and I have come up with a result, and it is really nice. I will show it to you guys a little bit later. So as of now, and if there is any doubts or queries, we can discuss on that. Is there anything?
Participants, do you have any doubts?
No, sir, no doubt here, sir. Video was clear to on that.
Okay, okay, sir. Then we can continue then.
Okay, then I'll play again the video. Okay. So here, from my observatory is located in a bottle 8/9 sky. Sometimes there is a football stadium which has been constructed for the FIFA World Cup 2022. This is one of the highly light polluted area, and that too I'm shooting from the most brightest urban sky. So I am using the filters of 3 nanometer broad bands, and the sky quality is very bad here because of all this light pollution. So apart from our light pollution or the brighter sky or the quality of the sky, there are various other factors which affect our imaging process. Here actually, the bad weather conditions like high temperature. The condition where I shoot is like from Qatar. In summer, the temperature goes up around 50 degree. And during July, August, actually the humidity is will be like around 90% of humidity. So all these conditions, mist will be there, fog will be there, and almost every factor is affecting the seeing and the imaging sessions. Amidst of all these conditions, your passion allows you to photograph all these beautiful images from this skies. Because of the time constraints, I will show you a bit of tricky stuff. We need to go for the next filter. So what I have done is I have reduced from the 12 frames to 8 frames. So we are almost already in the 8th frame now. So we will now introduce the next filter. It is the oxygen filter, as we discussed. So here I am going to add another sequence of light frame with the O3 filter. And for that, we'll add a suffix of O3 light. And the duration will be again 5 minutes, and say another 12 frames. Or say it will go for an 8 frame shot. That it means how much? 40 minutes of exposing. So once this frame is completed, our software will activate the focusing filter change. So from the current filter hydrogen alpha. The position of the filter wheel will change to the next filter, oxygen 3. And once the filter changes, I have set my software to do a refocusing for the oxygen, for the next filter change. So once this filter is done, we will go for an filter change and autofocusing process. And again, we will do for, the auto guider will start, and then we will go for the next sequencing. So now the filter is already changed, and the current filter is O3, and autofocusing is started. So my in my autofocusing module, my current setup is like the step size of focusing will be like 50 steps. So these values are calculated based on your experiences and based on the calibrations which you do with the focus motors. You come to a final, decision that your focuser will work on this particular settings. And I am actually doing it. Like my focus settings are for 9 points. So the focuser will calculate the photograph, will take 9 frame shots, and it will calculate the focusing with the half flux radius of the stars. So is the HFR value it will calculate. And here actually the module will go with a V curve. Once you get the V curve, then the lowest point will be your actual focus. So we will wait for it. Let's see, I think there is some focusing issues because we are not up. Yeah. So this is the focusing. Now we got a V curve. So here the quality is 96%. So that is pretty good focusing. So like, so this is the lowest point now we are getting. So now anything like above 90 for me is pretty good. So 94% is also okay. So this way, the focuser now, the position is like, at 94%, the focuser position will be in 6916. So the focusing module has been done. And now the filter is already changed to O3. SG Pro have refocused the filter. Now again, there was a dithering. PSP2 done a dithering. And we had have started the integration. So the integration for the first, again, like, we have given for 5 minutes of integration time, and it will be calculated as the, light frame. It will be converted to a light frame of 5 minutes. And meanwhile, once all these processes gets finished, I will be going for a set of calibration frames. The calibration frames will be like darts, flats, bias, and recently I have started taking the dark flats also, or the flat darks also. So here the calibration frames are used to avoid the noise or the vignetting or the improper lighting inside the frame, the uneven lighting. So here, dark frames are used to eliminate the, the thermal noise. The bias frames will be to eliminate the read noise of the sensor. And flats are to remove the vignetting or the uneven lighting, to flatten the frame. And there is another one more set of calibrations, is like the flat dark, as I said. That also is to avoid, to add little more contrast to the image. So this one we will discuss, I will be discussing in the session later. So the first frame of oxygen filter is also done. So this is our raw data of the first oxygen frame. We have plenty of details here. Could be maybe like, you might not see it out clearly, but still, no, I can feel the data in this because you see here the clouds over in this area, the data clouds. Maybe in this position, you can see the details over here, and here the details are over there. And this is a beautiful frame. So this one, so this is an oxygen frame. So similar frames, actually, then the second event integration, second frame integration is still in the progress. So like this again, like we will go for another set of 8 to 12 images. This is for testing purpose. We will go for another 8 or 10 frames of images. After all this, we will do the darks and flats and rest of the calibration frames, and we will integrate it, and we will see the final results. So this is a beautiful frame, and still the guiding is very beautiful, and you can see the guide scopes graph, and it is like it's like a baby, like it's very nice. The guiding is luckily very, very beautiful tonight, and PSD is doing a very good job. And this is our guiding star. These are like the recent update in the PSD2 is very beautiful with it's called the multi-star guiding. Earlier we had a single star guiding, but now it is a now the recent updates have come up with the multi-star guiding, where PSD2 will look for more than one stars. And even if one star is lost while guiding, it will go to the next available good star for guiding. So that's the way how it works. Here, actually, all these rounds are circles which has been marked over. The stars are for the selected stars, which is ready for guiding next one. If this particular star, which is pointed out there, if we lose the star, if PSD2 lose that star because of some clouds or because of any other conditions like fog or cloud, there are various reasons that you can lose a star. So if that star is lost, it will be the PSD2 will be choosing the next available pretty star, like to enough bright star to guide, so that we don't lose the frames. Otherwise, earlier what we used to do is if there is a star lost, we will lose the entire frame. Maybe like here now today I'm doing a 5-minute frame. Sometimes I used to do like 10 minutes frame, 15 minutes of guiding for a single frame, and if there is maybe at the end of the frame after 14 minutes, if the star lost, your whole frame is spoiled, and you lose 15 minutes of data which you have been shooting. So this update from PSD2 is really superb, and this is a freeware. So now in this session we have seen how I shoot from the observatory. Okay, so that was the session about how we have been doing the photographing. And to take the calibration frames, as I said, for darks, what we used to do is we used to cover the telescope or close the lens and photograph similar to the light frames. Say if we are taking a 5-minute light frame.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
There is a question asked by a student, Shafas Ahmed. He is asking, what are the advantages of taking photographs of nebulae, apart from taking photograph other celestial objects like satellites, shooting stars, etc.?
What are the advantages? Actually, See, advantages is like, it is used for study purposes also, to know the concentration of what is the, like the gases, what is the concentrated gases over there. And to me, it's a hobby. I'm a photographer. I'm not much into the research things, and it gives me pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you continue, sir.
Yeah, because he has asked like celestial objects like satellites, shooting stars, etc. Same advantage what we are doing with the satellites and shooting stars, right? Okay. So now, darks we are taking similar to the time frame of the lights, and bias, that's another calibration frame which we use to reduce the thermal noise. If you are knowing about the construction of the camera sensor, there will be a noise which is left in the sensor called the read noise during the construction. So that read noise will be eliminated by the uh, bias frames. And when the data which is being transferred from the to the camera, it is like the electrons, the charges actually going to the sensor. So it means that the sensor is getting heated up, and because of that, there is a thermal noise which has been again produced in the sensor. So this will be eliminated by the dark frames. So now actually luckily I got 2 clear nights for photographing. So even though I thought of doing a HOO bicolor frame, I still pushed myself to do a SHO, the Hubble palette imaging. So after finishing all the imaging session, I have ended up with a product like this. I'll show you. Can you see the image? Can you see the image?
Yes, we can.
It is visible, right? The fish nebula.
Yes, it is.
It is visible, sir.
Yeah. So this is the final image we have ended up. When we have it is like almost 11 hours I have got time to shoot. Similar to the hydrogen alpha. Hydrogen alpha I have shot like 4 hours, and oxygen 3 I have shot 4 hours, and sulfur we have shot 3 hours. So it's like 11 hours of imaging in this last 2 nights. The previous night when I started, I was thinking that the weather will not be okay, or like, I couldn't push myself. So I thought of doing a small test imaging, but last night I thought, okay, let us push a little more so that we can give a clear picture how it will be in the final results. So last night I've shot another 6 hours of data. The previous night it was 5 hours. Last night it was like 6 hours of data, and it has been processed, and in the end result is this. So this is how you do the photographing. And from yesterday's presentation, I wish to show you some of other the images which I have shot earlier.
I think we stopped from Eagle Nebula, sir. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I think so.
because
We will. Let me see.
yeah.
Just to see it. Yeah, this is. Okay. Here we have stopped. It looks like, right, from the
Okay, yeah.
Pelican Nebula. Yeah. So this is the Pelican Nebula which I have shot earlier.
Pelican.
Yeah, this is a Pelican Nebula. Maybe like I think this is these are all my early images, which is this was around 6 or 7 hours of data from Wattle 4 sky. Then this is the Andromeda
Sir, I have a
Galaxy.
question regarding this time frame. See,
Yeah.
what is actually the shooting time and what is actually the data processing time? Are you telling both or you are separating that? Because I just want to clarify it.
No. Actually, I am talking only about the time which is involved in the data collection. Okay, that is
Okay.
photographing. So for photographing, it is like it will take, say, for example, if we are photographing for 10 hours or 11 hours, maybe
Oh.
for processing, sometimes it will take 1 day, 2 day. It's up to you to until you um, achieve the quality or achieve
Result.
how you are satisfied with the colors. The
Okay.
one which I have processed today, the one we have shot last night, the Fish Nebula. Still, maybe I will go again with the reprocessing of that, and
Okay.
we'll see. Maybe we can retrieve more data from that, so that the image will look more nicer. Okay, and
Okay, sir. Okay.
these are this is the artist's eye, how it will have to look into it, how you are going to present it to the the general audience, uh, so that you will be amazed by the celestial beauties. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This Andromeda Galaxy is shot like with the 5 filters. So it's a broadband and a narrowband combination. It is like with luminance, red, green, blue filters, and added is a hydrogen alpha filter. So in this image, if you see the reds in this image, or the hydrogen alpha data. So this hydrogen alpha data adds more beauty to this. But rather, if you have shot only the first luminance, red, green, and blue, it could have been nicer. But the hydrogen alpha added more beauty to this. So this is how you are analyzing a celestial object about their characteristics. What is the gas which is available there? What kind of light is coming from there? What is if it is oxygen, or what is the more concentrated gas in the uh, target? And according to that, we are choosing the filters. And the next one, this is called as a Thor Helmet Nebula. This is a old image. These are all from my early targets, and this is a bicolor image, which has more of oxygen data. That's why it's more into blue side. This is a Whale Nebula, Eastern Whale. This is in the Cygnus ring, actually. Cygnus is another very beautiful region to photograph, like similar to Sadr or Orion. Cygnus is also a very beautiful place to photograph, with plenty of oxygen and hydrogen alpha data. This is the entire, the western veil. The other side, the earlier image was the eastern veil. This is the western veil. This sits opposite to. One side is the eastern and one side is the western. So it's like a ball. It's so beautiful when you get the whole image. This is called the Pacman Nebula. I hope I have to revisit this nebula because it's been shot maybe like 2 years back when I was still an amateur and doing it. So maybe now I have to revisit it back and add more data to this so that we'll get a little more pleasant looking image. This is a Rosette Nebula. This is Swan or Omega Nebula. This is again a bicolor image. This is called the Crab Nebula. This is one of the tiny nebulae which we can find, but in the which part? I think in the southern region. It's very beautiful. It's very colorful, and it's amazing to see when it comes out. This is called as the Dolphin Nebula because that it looks like the face of a dolphin, and it is called as the Dolphin Nebula. See these kind of the namings are like whoever found it, whoever first imaged or photographed or seen this nebulae, when as an astronomer or as an observer or an astronomer or an astrophotographer, if you find something new and you give your names, like some people it's like Messier objects. Now it is the new general catalog. There is plenty of objects. I think Messier has a list of 101 items. There are so many Abel, Sharples. There is a lot of catalogs like that, where they have found those people who have found the targets in the sky, who they have seen and they have observed the sky. They have named it in their own way. Maybe later, after if one of you have started observing and imaged, or at least you are finding something new in the sky, you can give your name to that object as XYZ, or your names even, and so that you live ever in the universe without those names. That's splendidly beautiful. So this is a Bubble Nebula, and this is the Heart Nebula. You see here in this part, like we have the Fish Nebula in the bottom. So now we have targeted only that. This is again Monkey Head Nebula. This is a tricolor Hubble palette. This is Skull and Crossbones Nebula. So you will see a skull in one of the sides, like here you will see a skull and the crossbones. This is called the Soul Nebula. It looks like a baby. The cloud, like it looks like a baby which is in mother's womb. How it floats in the water. This cloud is like that. So it is called as the Soul Nebula. So these are a few of the images which I have done. Now, and one more thing is like, I want to show you now. Actually, you have seen all the observatory, so many fancy stuff, fancy equipment, so many different kind of cameras, but all those things are not necessary if you have clear sky. If your sky quality is very nice, especially in our country, if you go like maybe like 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers from the cities, you will get very beautiful sky, very much less polluted, because it's good that our people are turning off the lights, when after 9 o'clock, or when they go to bed, we turn off all the lights as a part of power consumption, power usage. It's good actually. We do a very good practice that we don't pollute the sky with light. In those conditions, like yesterday, I have shown you the picture of a sky guider, right? So that's a tracker. This is a sky guider pro, the same one which I have shown in the pictures. So this is not a very expensive gear, and this is very handy. With your normal DSLR and with the stock DSLR, and with your available lens, and if you have a small tracker like this, you can also photograph the sky, same like how I have done. So that's simply superb. So this is a very handy piece of equipment. Now, we have any questions?
Audience, do you have any questions? Hello? You continue, sir.
So today,
So, sir, I have a doubt, sir. Where can we buy this tracker and something like, because I hope that in Qatar you will be getting in many shops, but where in India you have any?
No.
Hmm.
No. Unfortunately, in Qatar, we don't have any shops for this astronomical equipment, or the sky trackers, or any, even telescopes we don't get here. I usually import it from place. But in India, it is really readily available. There are so many shops they are selling this kind of equipment, but a little bit expensive because of our the luxury taxes which we have to pay. So maybe quite a little bit above the international market in Indian market. That is one reason that like people are not much into this astrophotography or in the sky observing. But I have seen plenty of people from northern part of our country, from North India. There are so many people who are interested in this astronomy and astrophotography. Especially there is very beautiful photographers, very dedicated astronomers are there there from the north, which I personally know few, and I have heard about you. From south, there are very less people, but still, we have amazing astronomers from south too. I hope that like we have to give a little more push to this astronomy field, because in another maybe another 4 or 5 years, this will be one of the booming industry, astronomy, because of the launch of Mars rover. People are more interested in going to studying about the sky and astronomical events like that. So it is going to be good in another few years, so that we will find plenty of astronomers, plenty of astrophotographers, and it's a very good career. Because and this time, if you're choosing it, I feel that this is the right time to choose this field, because now there is very much less competition, and as a career, it's very nice field.
Just a question, sir. You have got this observatory and something like that. So what will be the Indian cost of what you have done these many years? And what is your suggestion to budding astrophotographers? We have to invest fully, or we have to invest in a very calculated way, in part by part, something like that. Can you please give some suggestions?
You see, it took me almost 4 years for me to set up all these, okay, to buy my equipment. I didn't buy it in one shot. It's everything, like you buy, like, whatever you need. Maybe 1 month you will buy one piece of a screw from this mill, like that. It has been all collected like that. And another thing, if you want to buy a observatory, to set up an observatory, there are so many observatory manufacturers in the market, but those are literally very expensive. Even in India, I have checked with few of the observatory manufacturers, or like whoever is building an observatory. It is literally their prices are also expensive. So what I thought is, like, I will design my own observatory, and I have fabricated with a friend of mine. So the design is mine, and it has been fabricated, and I have got some inputs from some of my friends, some of fellow astrophotographers who are having their own observatories. So I got inputs from them. So we designed it together, and we made it possible with the minimum cost. So now it has to be automized. Automizing is another step which will make it more easier, so that you don't have to keep yourself awake for longer nights. Say for this, as I discussed, right? Like, for this session, um, to shoot this image of the fish nebula, I was like, almost awake 11 hours in last 2 nights. That means my sleep was almost
Oh
like
my God.
4 hours in this last 2 days. But it was quite interesting, and it's really happy to meet everybody and show this. And
Okay,
I
okay.
think we have
Thank you.
some
Thank you,
questions.
sir. Yeah, yeah.
Is there any courses offered for astrophotography or for editing techniques? See, for me, I think the answer is for Purvaraja. Purvaja. Okay. See,
Purvaja.
yeah, Purvaja. Uh, as of now, I haven't found any astrophotography courses. Or there are so many professional astrophotographers giving one-to-one sessions, and even myself, I have taken a few lessons earlier, one-to-one sessions, and they are a little bit. Some people are a little bit costly, expensive for each hour. Maybe some are costing like $100 an hour. Some are a little more cheaper. But you see, like, there is plenty of people who are readily available for free, who can teach you, who is interested in sharing their knowledge. And internet is, I'm a self-taught astrophotographer. I didn't go for any astrophotography course or any for course I didn't have been, but for editing, for processing section, I have gone for a little bit of like few hours of classes I have taken from some pro photographers and senior photographers. Even I have paid a few bucks on that, but there is, internet is fully flooded with information. The point is where you have to what you have to look for, and if you are looking for the right names or right techniques, then you can easily find plenty of data. I think I have given almost, if everybody have listened clearly, maybe the technical terms or the jargons which we use in for astrophotography, I think I have referred most of the names. So these names you can just go and Google it, and you can have more information on this, or you can just buzz me. I think Prince can give my contact email, or my Instagram handle is there. My Facebook account is there. You can feel free to contact me, and for any doubts, and I can give more information, rather than as a seminar. I can give you more information regarding that. And I think Manik Raja, as in our Indian money, how much we spend for full setup for astrophotography? What is the needed equipment for initial stage for astrophoto? Because we are new to this field, and now I am very interesting to do that. Manik Rajan, actually, it is as I told you, it is not necessary to have a very like costlier setup or fancy setup like you don't need an observatory. You don't need an observatory. You don't even need a telescope if you have a camera. If you just need to have a small DSLR and a little bit longer focal length telescope. Even that, like if you want to shoot wide field imaging, even longer focal length lenses are not necessary. Even with a standard 50 mm lens, you can do beautiful photography, which is even like I think at some places they have taken it for educational purposes even. I have a close acquaintance called JP. We call him JP, and he's a veteran astrophotographer. And he teaches me, he gives me a lot of advices regarding photographing. He has a Milky Way photographed in the last 12 years of time. He has spent almost like 1,200 hours imaging the Milky Way with plenty of details. So it needs a lot of passion and dedication. It doesn't require like too much equipment. So as I shown you, like this is a very handy and not very expensive tracker. This is costing around less than $500. This one is, and this is more than enough to shoot from India. If you are going out from the urban skies, maybe after like say 50 kilometers from Chennai, you will find plenty of dark sites. From there you can connect. From there you can photograph it only if you have this and a camera and a DSLR with a lens. Any DSLR with a lens, and with this you can have very beautiful photographs. No need for that costlier setup. But once, if you are into it, maybe the passion will take you more and more inside, and you may be investing. But to start up, it is not necessary for big setups. So maybe this year, I told, right, this is around $500 USD. So it is like less than 50,000.
Sir,
Yeah.
what's the name of that thing, sir? You kept the whole.
This is called the Sky Guider Pro, and it is the manufacturer is eyeopener. These guys are the manufacturers. They are very good in manufacturing mounts and telescopes. They have telescopes and mounts. They have they have CG mounts, and now they have come up with beautiful equatorial mounts. And this is a very basic equipment. You don't need any guiding setup, or you don't need this is really quite very, very nice one to start with.
Sky Guider, correct, sir?
Sky guiding.
Sky Guider.
Sky Guider. I think I can.
So there is a question, sir. There is a question from SK. Can you please tell us about untracked astrophotography? And Manikarajan is saying that I have already a Canon 5D camera. So I'm thinking that Manikarajan is asking how can we interface with this so-called this astrophotographical instruments. For that also, please give us an explanation, sir. Thank you.
What was the first question you were asking?
Can you please tell us about untracked astrophotography?
Yeah, untracked astrophotography, unguided. That is really quite interesting question. I think yesterday I was told about the wide field astrophotography. So in that, I have informed about a 500 rule. Say like dividing the focal length by dividing 500 with your focal length. See if your lens is 50 lens, you divide 500 divided by 50, and that is your maximum exposure length duration. That means that should be your shutter speed. So 10 seconds is maximum your shutter speed. The unguided is taking plenty of photographs, okay, in the same for the same place in the sky. Say for example, if you are going for, I think I have explained this also. Say for example, if it is Orion Nebula. Okay, now the Orion Nebula is up in the sky and it's very beautiful. So you have a 50 lens and you have a tripod and DSLR. So what you have to do is mark your tripod, put the camera on the tripod, and photograph the. There are so many applications. Like I'll give you some of the names here. I am using Stellarium. View, Google Sky. So all these are Android applications, which will help you to see the locate any target in the sky. So you can download, all these are freewares in the mobile phone. You can just download this application, and it has those have augmented reality, so which will work with the mobile phone's camera. And if you are positioning the mobile phone to the sky, and it will it will tell you exactly where you are pointing. So like that, you can find out. This is Android app also. So this one, and you can find out where your target is and locate and move you can frame your camera towards that sky, towards that point. Take 10 seconds, one image. Say, for example, I am shooting in 50 I will be taking one frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, maybe like for 5 minutes. I will not move the position of the camera. Same place, I will shoot for 5 minutes. Then what I will do is, another 5 minutes, I will just reframe it, because in 5 minutes, the target might have moved a little. So again, I will recenter the Orion Nebula in my camera. So another 5 minutes, I will photograph. So like this, maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours, you can photograph continuously without any guiding setup. Even you don't want this. Even you don't want this. Okay. For unguided. For guided means for more than more than 10 seconds with 50 This is good. Like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you can track the sky without any guiding setup, only for tracking. Okay. So like this, say for example, so it's like 10 seconds. So it means for 1 minute you have 6 frames. For 1 hour, you have 360 frames. Then this 360 frames, you have to stack together in a you have to stack together with some softwares. There are a few free softwares available. But Deep Sky Stacker is one of the best piece of software, and it is open source. Almost every astrophotography softwares are available in the open source, and it is free. So you can try it out with that.
Okay, sir. Then there is a question from.
Who asked the question about the unguided?
Unguided, it was SK. He was SK.
Sherladan SK, right?
Yeah, that name is not visible here.
I think it's clear.
Okay. Sherladan, yeah. And Manikarajan has told that he has a Canon 5D camera. Can you please explain to him how we can connect or what is the process of, what are the things that are needed?
Same, like Canon 5D is one of the beautiful cameras. That's 5D is at a Mark 3 or Mark 2, Mark 4 or beautiful cameras. In this Sky Guider, you see like this is a tracker, right? So if you have a piece, you can disconnect from this. You can attach your ball head, or this is another tool. There are few accessories with this. I think it's there are few accessories. You can connect directly your camera here, and this will be polar aligned. This one, actually, this is the altitude knob. If you rotate this, it will change, and you will go for the particular altitude. See, there is a small telescope in this. This is a small telescope. I think it's over here. This is the small telescope. This is called the polar scope. So if you are locating the Polaris through this telescope and you fix the tracker, leave it there, and you can attach your camera, start photographing, turn it on. So you can go up to maybe 4 minutes with your tracking. I have tracked the sky with the proper polar alignment with this tracker. I have tracked for 8 minutes without any star trails. So this is a handy equipment. It's very nice one.
Okay. Another participant wants to ask a question. He is Wizard. Someone, please ask your question, Wizard.
Yes.
Unmute yourself and ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir. This session is very amazing, sir. I thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, sir. Just now I went through your Instagram post, sir. I saw a Milky Way. To photograph a Milky Way, what would be the cheap and best telescope, sir? Is it available in Chennai? Can we see Milky Way in Chennai, from Chennai? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, see, for Milky Way, to photograph the Milky Way, you don't need a telescope. Okay. Just a regular DSLR with a wide angle lens, you can do it. Okay. And same, you can follow the same rule which I told, 50 mm, 500 rule. So, wide angle in the sense, maybe if you have a 14 mm lens, it will be very nice because you can get a lot of information from the sky. And talking about Chennai, I think somewhere near after Tiruvallur or this side, towards Vellore, there are so many dark places. And you can, I have a friend of mine who have shot Milky Way from that place. There are nice places, maybe I think 50 kilometers. If you go out of Chennai, you can even see Milky Way in your naked eyes. But one thing is now the Milky Way season is almost to the end because Milky Way you will see only in the summer. Now, because it is almost close to winter, the Milky Way is almost going to end. So I think by September end, October second week, the Milky Way will be seen only in the daytime. So and it is not possible to see the Milky Way. So now, this is the right time to choose and see the Milky Way, and to plan accordingly, you have to plan better to be a night which is clear and with less moon. That means new moon days, new moon nights. If you are going, you can see the Milky Way, and the stars which you have to look for is the Sagittarius cluster. But with these applications which I have mentioned, you don't even want to find the star. If you can just keep the show your phone on the sky with the app open, it will locate the Milky Way for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir. So there is also another question.
Yeah.
What are the scopes you have, and can you please tell us about the specs?
Sherlatan, I have my main imaging scope is Explore Scientific 102 FCD 100 actually. Not the older version. FCD 1 is a little more chromatic side. So this is a highly apochromatic 102. 102 mm is like the aperture of the telescope. The front element is 102 mm diameter, and the focal length is 714 millimeter. Okay. Overall, I am using sometimes I'm using a focal reducer of 0.7 to convert the focal length to lesser, like around 400, 450. So this is my main imaging scope. And I have other two imaging scopes, like one is Skywatcher ED72 and William Optics 61. So Skywatcher is 460 mm focal length. This William Optics is 360 mm focal length. And I have a guide scope which is dedicated, that is the Orion guide scope, small one, a 50 mm scope. That one, the focal length is 160. Then I have a Spindit Cassegrain telescope. That is a 1500 mm. It is a 6-inch scope. So these are the scopes which I have now. I have plans to upgrade a little more, maybe a little more longer focal lengths also. Any other
questions? No, sir. You proceed, sir.
Okay. So that question, which I think SK, right? Like you asked, was a very nice one, the unguided, because I just missed it off to add it in this, because I was mostly concentrating only on the tracking the skies. Unguided is really very good for beginners. You don't even need a sky guider or a tracker or a fancy big setups. But only problem is, if you want to photograph the sky unguided, you have to you can do only almost wide field, not the longer focal lengths, because longer focal lengths, like say maximum, if it is like, even if it is 300 mm lens, if you are using, maybe you can go up to like 2 seconds. 2 seconds is also more very 2 seconds also can give trails in the image. So I will prefer to go for a 50 mm lens for a wide field if it is unguided. And what else I have to tell? Maybe I have planned this as a session. Yeah, another thing which you need is focusing. To begin with focusing, actually there is some items called, like, you have something called Bartinov's mask. I will put it in this here in the chat box. It is Bartinov mask. So this is a separate it's like a piece of cardboard which you use it for focusing the stars. There are some focusing procedure you have to follow if you are using a Bartinov mask. Even if you can DIY, you can make a Bartinov mask by yourself. or even the milk strainer in your kitchens can be used as a mask to focus the stars. So whatever it is, you try to find the basic option or the cheaper option instead of investing so much money. And Manik Raj has asked financially how much we earn. This is a tricky question. Actually, it is purely my hobby, and I don't earn anything from this. And I'm giving my knowledge free as of now. So far, I am sharing my knowledge free, and I'm not selling any photographs now. But I have some prospective agreements coming up with with the Ministry of Qatar. They have we had a prospective discussion last week with Tourism Ministry of Qatar. They want to get some of my images. Maybe I will start getting income from that. But so far, I'm not getting any income from this. Okay. Then, Dr. Justin, what type of telescope do you recommend to beginners to start? See, it is based on for a telescope for beginners to start. It is all as per your budgets. To me, I will recommend to go for a refractor telescope, because refractor telescope don't give much tensions to you for about collimations, because you can easily carry it. Okay, there are Newtonians, little more cheaper, or called as the reflector telescopes. But whenever if you have to carry them very handy. And during the travel, there is a possibility of the mirror to get misaligned. But that is, again, it is easily fixable. It is a technique called collimation. You have to collimate your mirrors, and you can use it. So, for a beginner, for a very basic beginner, I will recommend only a binocular, not a telescope. Because once you have started stargazing with binoculars, you will start enjoying the sky. The star hopping is very nice hobby. You can find stars in the sky. You can hop from one star to other, find the constellations. Then even with with binoculars, you have few targets, few nebulae, you can see it through binoculars. Few of them, Andromeda Galaxy, you can see through binocular. Triangulum Galaxy, you can see through the binocular. South Triangulum, you can see through the binocular. And so many star clusters and double stars, you can see through the binoculars. So for a basic beginner, I would recommend to go for a binocular instead of a telescope. Because another thing is, if you are looking through a telescope, you cannot identify it easily without a laser pointer. And I think in the cities, laser pointers is not permitted. You can go out to the dark spots. But still, again, it was not very much legally accepted, the star pointers, because it is disturbing the air traffic. So that's why they are not legally allowed much in the places. But star pointers still, it is not very that with the star pointers you can easily find out the targets. But first, I will recommend a binocular. Ganapati Raman, Dr. G. Patmanabhan, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. And Purvaja is again asking a question: is your passion? Then what is your profession, sir? I mean, what could be your source of income since you didn't sell your photographs? Purvaja, I am working as a health and safety manager in a company in Qatar, and um, this astrophotography is a passion. Actually, photography is a passion for me. Initially, I started photographing, um, you know, similar as same like as every photographer starts. I started with my kids. Then I have moved to landscape. Then I did some dedicated wildlife photography. Got few recognitions from BBC wildlife magazines. And when I started encounter with this celestial objects, now I don't want to go back to any other things. I will be shooting some other stuff, but this will be my major point of interest. So that much beautiful the celestial objects are. Any more questions?
Sir, you know Tamil?
Yes, I hail from Kanyakumari district. My mother tongue is Tamil. Yeah, my mother tongue is Tamil. I hail from a small village called Mailodu, from Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu.
Sir, your inspiration from this field, astrophotography.
Yeah, my inspiration is an interesting story actually. So I was doing wildlife photography. As I mentioned, this is like I was inspired by my daughter. She was the one. She was. I think she's now also a budding astrophotographer. Now she's in grade 7. She was in 4th grade when she got some lessons in the solar systems. So she wanted the telescope to see the planets. So that is how we both started seeing the celestial bodies. So from there, as a photographer, my passion, I started thinking of photographing the planets. So that is how I entered this astrophotography. But I don't regret coming here. It is really fantastic hobby or fantastic field to enter and study, learn about it. Because I am not much technical person about astronomy. I'm more into astrophotography, and I'm more into the artistic side of it. Okay, but technically, astrophotography have increased my knowledge a lot, because as an astrophotographer, you have to learn about motors, about how to fix. If there is any problem with your equipment, you have to fix it by yourself, because these equipment, again, for repairing, if there is any issues, if you want to send it back to the manufacturer for fixing it, it will be quite very expensive. So you learn electronics, you learn optics, you learn mechanical, you learn the knowledge gaining from this field is really amazing. And apart from that, knowledge about astronomy, even starting from finding the first star, the Polaris, to all other stars, at least you will find some time to find about the at least the comparison of our sun with other celestial objects, or all other stars. At least somewhere you will start gaining the knowledge. Even as an astrophotographer, even if you start with astrophotography, you will start gaining the knowledge about astronomy. And astronomy, as physics students, I think you have a subject called about astrophysics. So you people who are all graduated in that particular field, it will be very easy for you. So yesterday someone asked me whether it is necessary to study physics to do astrophotography. You know, so I told that it is not necessary to learn physics to do astrophotography. But if you, because as a photographer, I'm not a physics graduate, but but whatever comes in the field, you will encounter physics. You know, you will encounter optics, you will encounter astronomy. So all this knowledge will be for me. Then later, you know, to study physics about whatever it is tough for me. But as a physics graduate, or to with already with the knowledge of astrophysics, it will be easy for you to do it. So it's like that.
Is there any more
Any-
questions? Sir, I think that this talk was really
No, I think I'm not.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm audible. Now it is audible.
Okay, okay. So can we end the session, sir?
Yeah, fine. Because
Yes,
I
sir. Yes. Thank you so much,
don't
sir.
want to.
So
I
I
don't.
now call upon my colleague, Dr. G. Faiz Ahmad, who is the Joint Secretary of our college, to deliver the vote of thanks.
I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Respected dignitaries, Principal, Vice Principal, Academic, Vice Principal Admin, officials, Head of the Department, Coordinator, Organizing Team, Chief Guest, Mr. Ajith Everester, the participants from the new college as well as from various institutes. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. Hello and good evening to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to give vote of thanks. Almighty says in the Holy Quran, Allah is He who raised the heavens without any pillars that you can see. Then He established Himself on the throne. He has subjected the sun and the moon. Each one runs its course for a term appointed. He do regulate all affairs, explaining the science in detail, that you may believe with certainty in the meeting with your Lord. Chapter 13, verse 2 of Holy Quran. Chief guest, Mr. Ajith Everester sir, you in a very spectacular way presented the magnificent creation of the God, that is the universe, in this 2-day workshop. You led us to the tour of universe in a unique way. Thank you, sir. First, I thank Almighty for His blessings and all endeavors of life. I, on behalf of Physics Department, present my humble gratitude to the magnanimous management, the chief patrons of this workshop. We wholeheartedly thanks His Highness Nawab Muhammad Ali Azim Jah, President, Honorary Secretary Janab Ilyas Seth, Honorary Treasurer Janab Najibuddin Sahib. Our thanks and principal and praise to the co-patrons. The Principal, Dr. S. Bashir Ahmed Sir, the Vice Principal Academic, Mr. S.A. Sheikh Mohammed Sir, the Vice Principal Admin, Dr. Kamal Nasser, for their readily support ever to the progress of this institution. We are grateful to convener and co-convener Captain M. Anis Ahmed and Dr. M. Nizam Mohiddin respectively for their guidance. We are thankful to the Dean of Research, Dr. M. Ghulam Muhammad and Dr. P. A. Abdullah Mehboob, Assistant Control of Examination, for their advices in organizing the workshop. Dr. J. Prince Joshua, organizing secretary, is really an inspiration to the young minds. He hardly and smartly conducted this beneficial workshop to the community of space lovers. My thanks to the members of the organizing committee. I, from my depth of heart, thanks the chief guest, Mr. Ajith Everester, for accepting our invitation in spite of his busy schedule in short notice and give us untiring presentation. His presentation is really attractive. His love and passion towards the photography really inspire us all. He owns an observatory that shows his dedication towards his works. Thank you, sir. I'm grateful to you, sir. Finally, I am thank on behalf of organizing team, the participants, industrialists, faculty members of our college, students of our college, and faculty members and students of various institutes that spreads across the globe. Your attendance with all interest and enthusiasm really inspire us. Without your patronage, this workshop won't be successful. We, once again, thank you each one and everyone. Thank you. I conclude with a couplet. ना तू ज़मीन के लिए ना आसमां के लिए है जहां है तेरे लिए तू नहीं जहां के लिए. You are not for earth, not for the sky. World is for you. You are not for it. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Ajith sir, a few words.
Thank you so much, Prince. Actually, I'm so much grateful, and I'm so happy to share my knowledge. And it was actually we could have done it more interesting in person if there was no COVID. Unfortunately, because of all these COVID situations and this pandemic had made our conditions little more horrible. Otherwise, we could have done a live presentation. Anyways.
Yeah, we will surely plan your workshop, offline workshop that when you're coming to India, we'll be planning to conduct a workshop then in the near future.
I will be pleased actually, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. There is Manikarajan wants to ask some question. It seems. Manikarajan, you ask the question now.
Questions எதுவும் இல்லை, நன்றிகள் தான் தெரிவிப்பாங்க. இத்தகைய ஒரு அருமையான ஒரு ஆஸ்ட்ரோ போட்டோகிராஃபி அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஹெட்டிங் எடுத்து எங்கள் ஃபிசிக்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ண உங்கள் அந்த டீம் கொடுத்த எல்லாருக்குமே மிக நன்றி. பிகாஸ் ஏன் அப்படின்னா நிறையா டாபிக்ஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கப்போ ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் வெரி ஒன் ஆஃப் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இன் ஃபிசிக்ஸ் அப்படின்ட்டு முடிவெடுத்து ஸோ அந்த ஒரு டாப்பிக்கில் எங்களுக்கு ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் கொடுத்த இந்த டீமுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம சார் அஜித் பிரபு சாருக்கும் ரொம்ப நன்றி. நன்றிகள் சார்.
ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Thank you so much, Manikaraj. And I have sent the feedback form also. You can fill the feedback form. If you want to say some suggestions, you can please say now. How was the workshop? You can please share with us. Sir, our beloved HOD is here. Beloved HOD sir, kindly share your views on the 2 days workshop, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, Prince Joshua, for giving me this opportunity. I was observing the yesterday's proceedings in full. I was fully amazed because of our Ajith Prabhu Everester is not only a fun lover of astronomy, but he is more than a physics professor, because he was explaining each and everything very crystal clearly right from the beginning. Those who are watching the night sky, and he was the person who gave us the clear idea that what is a clear night, which must be moonless night and cloudless night. And those who are there in the vicinity of Chennai city must go at least 40 to 50 kilometers, or at least near the Vellore district like Kavlur Observatory, to have a nice fun watching the night sky. When I was a teacher in Saint Velagani Senior Secondary School, I used to teach astronomy as a fun for them. Why? Because students of Central Board School students used to go to Kavlur Observatory very often under my guidance, because near Vanyambadi is my native place. I used to take them and have a watch, and I used to tell them to count the number of stars while watching the night sky. They were able to count as many as 6,000 stars while watching the night sky. So these are the many sweet memories I could be able to see from Ajith Prabhu Everester in the yesterday's session. Today's session is really amazing. The reason being that he was able to show his observatory and as well as his camera and all equipments, and he was able to know how to handle the apparatus, handle his camera. And finally, I was really interested to take this one word, that instead of buying a telescope or straight away a camera, all of us have a binocular, he said. Because using a binocular, we can watch the night sky. We can see even the constellations. We can see all type of heavenly bodies, the whole universe. What is universe? Everything around us is universe. That is what our Ajith Prabhu Everest has enlightened us. He has given lots of knowledge, and therefore those who are very much interested to go as a photographer, better you can go as a astrophotographer, which leads to astronomy. Thank you once again, Ajith Prabhu Everester. Thank you very much, and thank you for the organizers. Our Prince Joshua is a special thanks, and hats off to Dr. Prince Joshua. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I think that I have sent the feedback form to everyone. So thank you, Ajith, and we will meet you soon then. Okay. Thank you.
Inshallah, we will meet you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.